Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, in this video today we're going to explore filter options. I've got my visual builder enabled on this page, and I've got three simple columns inside a row here with just an image using an image module. And to use your image module, just put an image module in there. In fact, let's delete this. Hit the module button to add a new module, and we'll go down to image, which is right there, and then simply select your image. And there's our image in there. I think what I'll do for this demonstration today, I'll turn this into a 2-column row, make the image a little bit bigger that way, and we'll just delete that one. And we'll go into our image module again, and we're going to go to the design tab. And we're going to go down to filters. Now they've got some fantastic filters here. We'll start with hue. Obviously that's the color, the hue of the picture. So you can change it to all these crazy different colors here by moving this thing up here. To reset anything, if you've been playing with it, just simply delete it. It will return to the default. Now saturation is the color saturation. If I bring it up to the right, the colors will become more vivid. If I bring it down to the left, they'll get less until it becomes black and white. Brightness, self-explanatory. Obviously you can brighten things up and darken things down. The contrast, if I bring the contrast up, it'll make the blacks blacker and the whites whiter, or the dark colors darker and the light colors lighter. If I take it down, the difference between the dark and the lights will be less. So let's take it up, and you'll see the darks become darker and the whites become whiter, and the other way it becomes paler. Now invert, we can basically invert the colors that are going on here. So the blue will become the opposite of blue, browns will become the opposite of brown, etc. Just slide it up to see the effects taking place. And there we are. It's kind of like a negative image that you used to get with camera rolls. And again, if you want to take it away, simply delete it. Now sepia again is an old camera effect that makes images look like an old photo. So you can bring it up and it starts looking like one of those old pictures you see in the magazines there. And the more you bring it up, the more it sort of fades out the color and makes it look like an old picture. The opacity is the see-throughness, if you will, and the more you take it down, the more see-through it's going to get until it's invisible right there. Blur is exactly what it says. If you've got a sharp image, it's going to take the sharpness out of it until it's just a bunch of fuzz if you bring it up to the right hand side. As you can see, as I'm sliding it up, it's getting more and more blurry. There we go. Now we've got the blend mode down at the bottom here, and for this I'm going to go into our column and add a background color behind our picture, and we'll be able to make some really interesting blend mixes with it. So let's just save that. I'll go into the row, and I'll go into the first column where that image is, and I'll just give it a simple background color. As you can see, I've given it a blue there. Okay, let's go back into our image now. Back to the filters, design, filters. Go down and have a look at some of these blend modes. Now we've got normal at the moment, which is no blend. If I multiply it, it'll mix that blue background and our image. As you can see, that's a great little feature right there, especially if you've got text over the top of it or something. Screen, overlay, darken, lighten, color dodge, color burn. Like I say, you can get some fantastic looking effects by playing with these. And some of these down here like saturation and hue give you some sort of psychedelic effects. So that's the blend mode for you. And these are great, but you can also create your own hover effects with them. So if perhaps I take this back to normal, and let's go up, and now let's say when I hover over it, let's put the image to blurred. So I'll make it blurred. So the image is blurred like that. And then when I hover over it, I want it to be clear. So I'll put the, go up to where it says blur, go to the little arrow, when it's 2 boxes, hover and desktop, go to the hover one for setting the hover state. I'll set that to 0. So when you hover on it, it'll become nice and clear. When you're not hovering over it, it'll be blurry. And you can set other ones as well. Let's set the opacity, get the little arrow up for desktop. I'll take this down so we get most of the blue there. And then when we hover over it, the hover state, we can make it fully opaque so we can see it nice and clearly. Now you can do this to all of these filters, and also most of the settings on here, any of them that have got a little arrow when you hover beside them, you can set hover effects for. So now if I save this, save our changes, and exit our visual builder, there we go. There's our little image, and when I hover over it, it should become clear. There we go. And you can speed up and slow down that transform time too. If we go back in there, and again this is common to all modules, we'll go back into the module. If we go to the advanced tab now, we can go down to transitions, and the default's 300 milliseconds, which is pretty quick. You can either type in the value you want there or use this slider and take it up so it's a lot slower. It's almost a second and a half. 1.5 would be a second and a half. Let's save that. Exit the visual builder now. And now that should take 1.4 seconds to become clear. There we go. And you can get some great hover effects by using that. So there you have it. There's the Divi filters for you. I hope you've enjoyed that and found it useful. If you have, please ring the bell, comment, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this is Jamie with System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.